at my bed.
Oh my goodness. All right. Hey, everybody. This is our lesson on the chemical building blocks of cells. So by the end of this video, you should be able to compare the structures and functions of major biological molecules, such as carbohydrates, proteins, bless you, lipids, and nucleic acids as related to the survival of living organisms. So first, let's talk about organic compounds and what they are. So organic compounds are defined as a compound that contains carbon and hydrogen. And this makes the most...
What are those?
Those are carbons and hydrogens. And this makes most of the molecules in your body. So we are made of what are called hydrocarbons, which are organic compounds. Biomolecules are made up of organic compounds. So these are larger molecules than just organic compounds themselves. These are carbon chains, which are what you see in this little GIF over here. And there are 4 different types that we will look at because these are the important organic molecules to know for biology. So we've got carbohydrates, lipids, proteins, and nucleic acids. Biomolecules are polymers, and based on, our prefix learning, poly means multiple. So this is multiple carbon strands.
Poly?
Yes. Formed when 2 or more smaller units bond together. So our base units for these are called monomers, and mono means 1. So 1 unit.
Mono.
Yes. So now let's talk a little bit about inorganic compounds, just so you can know the elements that we need to look at in our organic compounds.
Elements.
Stop. Sorry, my daughter is sitting right beside me. You can see she's right there.
Hello.
So some important inorganic chemicals that are found in living things that you need to know are water, H2O, stop shaking, CO2, carbon dioxide, O2, oxygen, and NH3, which is ammonia. All of these are present in the body or expelled from the body. So these are important to understand for their chemical makeup. Stop. Living things are mostly made of carbon, carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen. These are our 4 major components of the hydrocarbons or the organic compounds that we're going to look at. And the way you can remember this is CHON. So CHON, carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen.
Hi.
Iris, stop. I got to get this video done, baby. So yay for our buddy CHON is what we call this. Yes.
What are those moving things?
They were elements.
Oh.
Well, compounds. So first, let's look at carbohydrates. Stop. Hold on.
What is that wood thing?
Baby, it's a GIF. It's just a picture. So carbohydrates are made up of carbons, hydrogens, and oxygens. Some examples of carbohydrates that you need to know that you would see in the body or in cells are sugars, starches, and cellulose, which is made up the cell walls, which makes them a little bit more structured. The function of carbohydrates is to supply energy to the cell, but remember that carbohydrates are short-term energy. These are ones that you ingest, you use, and they're gone. These are not stored for long-term energy.
What is that one thing?
I don't know what that is, baby. So a monomer of a carbohydrate is glucose, which is a monosaccharide. So we know that means 1 sugar. But a polymer of carbohydrates is a starch, which is a polysaccharide. And starch, we find in breads, potatoes, things like that. Next, we have lipids. So lipids are made up of carbons, hydrogens, oxygens, and phosphorus. So we are bringing in a new element here. So if it helps you think CHOP lipids, CHOP, C-H-O-P. And our example of lipids are fats, oils, waxes, and phospholipids. As you look here at this little GIF, this is actually known as a phospholipid bilayer. Remember, the prefix means 2. So we've got 1 lipid layer up top and 1 lipid layer on the bottom. And another example is cholesterol. So the function of lipids is storing large amounts of energy. So this is long-term energy. This is stuff that the body will store to use later, basically. And these will form boundaries between cells. So we'll learn about our plasma membranes later, and you'll see where these bilayers, not just plasma membranes, but where these bilayers are within the cell to keep stuff from moving in and out at a crazy speed. So a monomer of a lipid is a glycerol plus 3 fatty acids. And then a polymer is a lipid, which is known as a triglyceride.
Mommy,
So our next one, hold on, baby. Our next one is our proteins. I picked this one for you. Do you see what that is?
that's protein tie-in.
Yep. So the elements used for proteins are carbons, hydrogens, nitrogens, oxygens, and sulfurs. So we have chons here, multiple chons. The elements for proteins, the examples for proteins are enzymes, and then your skin and your hair are also examples of proteins. The function of protein is to regulate cell processes and to build cell structures. So cell structures like your hair, your skin, but to regulate your processes are enzymes. They are used to keep your body at homeostasis. The monomer for proteins are amino acids. So one amino acid is considered a monomer, but multiples of those hooked together, which is known as a polypeptide, is a protein.
A
Monomer.
monomer.
And then our last type of organic compound that we need to understand are nucleic acids. So the elements used in nucleic acids are
Why did that
carbons,
go
hydrogens, because we're on a different slide. Carbons, hydrogens, oxygens, nitrogens, and phosphorus. Our examples of nucleic acids are DNA and RNA. So this is what makes up our biological composition, our makeup. So the function here is to carry heredity is what that should be. So we're looking at our information, our genetic code, and we use these also to make proteins. So a monomer of this is a nucleotide, which is what you see over here in the GIF, and it is made up of a nitrogen base, which is the rectangle, a simple sugar, which is the pentagon, and a phosphate group, which is the circle up here. So those, So those are one nucleotide. And then the polymer is a nucleic acid, which are nucleotides hooked together to make those RNA and DNA strands. This slide, I just liked it. I'm going to talk a little bit over what you see. So this is a very good slide to show you the monomer versus the polymer that you can look at. And you can see those here. All right, guys. So now you should be able to classify important organic compounds.